The Miami Dolphins are looking to get back to their competitive ways with a strong 2025 draft. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down the Dolphins draft class. Before we do that, Ryan is getting married here in a couple of weeks, so let's send him an early wedding present by hitting that subscribe button, tackling that bell, leaving a like and a comment. Let us know what you think of the Dolphins draft. And Ryan, let's pull up their selections here, this 2025 Dolphins draft class, starting with one of my favorite players in this draft class, Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle from Michigan. One of the main reasons why this Michigan team was relevant, one of the main reasons why they beat Ohio State, combined with Ryan Day's ignorance, I think, on how to beat Michigan. But Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham were two of the best college football players last year. Well, I guess in this overall draft class, because there were some really young guys that weren't draft eligible yet. So in the second round, they got Jonah Savaiinaea, offensive guard out of Arizona, really trying to bolster up the trenches on the other side of the ball, which they desperately need. Then they didn't have a pick in the third or fourth round. So their next picks were in the fifth round. So Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle from Maryland, Jason Marshall Jr., cornerback from Florida, Dante Trader Jr., safety from Maryland. Then in the sixth round, they got Ollie Gordon, the second running back out of Oklahoma State. Then they got Quinn Ewers, quarterback from Texas, and then Zeek Biggers from Georgia Tech, defensive tackle. So, in general, I think a unique draft class, but I also think too when I look at this Miami's team, I have a hard time figuring out. I mean, because they need to get better in the trenches, but then at the same time, though, too, they're so kind of a one trick pony with how much speed they have. Like I look at their starting receiving room right now with Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Malik Washington. Like that might be a USA like 4x100 like sprint team, and then you throw
Yeah,
on
honestly.
like Devon A Chain, like we might medal with these four guys if we're being completely honest. It's like they're so quick, they're so fast, but at the same time though too, they've had one of the worst offensive lines. And Teron Armstead retires, and it's like they have young guys coming up here now. They're still trying to get younger, still trying to get better. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I like some of the guys on the defensive side of the ball too. But I think getting Kenneth Grant, getting that big guy up the middle after Calais Campbell uh, moved to Arizona is I think a good first start to try and just get him back to just being more beefy and meaty in the trenches on both sides of the ball. So, Ryan, as a Patriots fan, what are your thoughts on Miami and their draft class?
Yeah, I mean, I really like Kenneth Grant as a prospect. I feel like he's going to come in. He's going to be a player for them day one. Jonah Savaiinaea as a guard, I think is a day one starter. He's gonna they want to play him at tackle, he's going to need some refinement, just in his vertical sets and maybe some hand placement. But as a guard, dude is just a boulder, and so I think that's a good fit there. He's a great athlete, plays with tremendous play strength. Um, that is kind of like Jordan Phillips. I thought he's a good run stuffing defensive tackle, but he doesn't have like the upfield capabilities that a guy like Kenneth Grant does. Um, After that, I mean, I like some of their day three or like some of the later picks. Uh, I don't know how much these guys are really gonna play. Like Quinn Ewers, Zeek Biggers. Zeke Biggers is also a bigger run stuffing defensive tackle. And so Ollie Gordon, I thought was good value. This is a really deep running back class. Dante Trader is a strong safety that I liked at this point in the draft. So they did a good job. I felt they needed to address offensive line a little bit more. Where they took three defensive tackles, where I thought they would have taken maybe one or two defensive tackles and then invested more like in the offensive line. I feel like that's the big miss here, especially on that offensive interior. This is a deep interior class with some decent developmental tackles. So, well, I mean, we'll have to see. But
Yeah.
their run stopping issues should be over.
Right. Let's hope so. Yeah. Let's hope so. I mean, you got like 1 ton up front now with all
I
the
know,
weight up there.
I know,
How
yeah.
much is Zeke Bigger's weigh actually again? Even
He
because
was
he's up. He's
330.
321, and then Kenneth Grant's
Yeah,
330. Yeah, so that's
yeah.
You're
And
over a
Jordan
quarter of the
Jordan
weight. You're about,
Phillips is
and you have Jordan Phillips up
312.
there.
Yeah,
Jeez Louise. Yeah,
yeah,
so that's half a ton right there that they just drafted for the defensive line. So yeah, like they should be significantly better in the run stuffing department
yeah,
as a whole. But I also think too as well to your point about the offensive line, I agree 100%. I'd have to go back and look to see why they didn't have the third or fourth round picks, and maybe they used some of it to trade up to go get Jonas Havanaia. That might be part of it. I'm trying to remember. But
They did trade up for him,
at
so that
at at 13, like Tyler Booker was off the board, so maybe they were hoping he would get there. That would have been an interesting one. Uh, but I think go and get Kenneth Grant on the other side of the ball is also huge. And then you go get Jonah Savaiinaea. And then when you're looking now, their next pick wasn't until almost 100 picks later.
yeah.
And it's I could see them like getting more offensive line, but then at the same time though too, like what's the overall, I guess, value that you could be getting there compared to then spreading some more love around this team. And this kind of goes back to my point though, is like they are eventually going to need to be adding on some more secondary help as well. Like Jalen Ramsey, still one of the better corners, yes, but he is getting up there in age, and they lost a couple
Well,
of guys
actually,
in free
there's a lot of
agency.
trade rumors going
A
around
lot of
with
trade
him right
rumors, a lot
now.
of trade rumors with my Falcons. And hey, we're giving away draft picks like crazy. Maybe we'll give you a first for Jalen Ramsey. But that's beside the point. But so they've added on some guys at free agency, but then still trying to get younger, trying to find some more youth to
Yeah,
like to replace him when that time does come. So and my one thing with Ollie Gordon pick is I like the player a lot. You do have Devon A. Chain, and then you got a Jalen Wright last year as well. And I just think it's maybe kind of because he's a speedster guy too, right? Like, and
Jalen
unless
Wright or Ollie
no,
Gordon.
Ollie Gordon.
No, he's a power back.
Oh,
He's
is he more
a
of a power back?
yeah, he is a
So,
power back.
so, so, so maybe that's the route. That like maybe they want more of that bigger goal line guy, and so maybe that's the route. That being said, though, too, is it's like you're set with Devon A. and Jalen Wright. Like we've seen what these guys like that they
Yeah,
can do, and they're kind of interchangeable. So maybe that's the route that they ended up going, sending them there. And you're right, it's good value overall, especially if he's being more of that goal line back type of player. But I say all that then too, and not trying to be hypocritical, but then it is a 6th round pick. You know like you're not
yeah,
expecting too much from these guys. So if you like him, I support taking him obviously.
yeah. So that's where like I have mixed feelings about this class. I'm gonna. I don't want to like be harsh, but they only had two top, really top 150 picks.
Yeah,
And I guess they spent them both on the offensive line and the defensive line. But I'm gonna give this class like a C to C minus. Uh, I'm not really weighing in my grading. I'm not really weighing a lot of the day three picks. I thought they got good value there on day three, but they made what, 6 day 3 picks.
yeah,
And then I thought Jonah Savaiinaea was a bit of a reach at that point, especially if they had to give up even more assets to get up and get him. And so I really like the Kenneth Grant pick. I think that was like where he was kind of slated to go between like 12 and 16. I thought he would come off the board. So uh yeah, I just thought that they maybe overextended for Savaiinaea, and then they only had, I'm weighing the top 100 picks the most, and they only had two. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of a lower grade than that.
makes sense. I my average is typically graded a little bit higher overall,
Yeah,
but like I do agree with you though, where it's like you have two top 150 picks, and I think you address specific needs. Like the Miami
yeah,
needs to get bigger and better in the trenches. So like addressing that, I think is huge, especially too when you go and get a guy like Kenneth Grant. I think he's going to come in and be an absolute game changer from day one for this team. But that being said, though, I'm probably definitely in that B minus C plus type range. It's just I just think this Miami team as a whole, and I agree with you, not trying to be harsh, but at the same time though too, I'm looking at like like how does this team keep getting better? Like I like that they address the trenches, but then at the same time though too, I still feel like they're kind of a one trick pony overall offensively. Maybe I'm wrong. Leave a comment, tell me why I'm wrong. Like I want to know why I'm wrong. But it's like if if the speed's not working that day, or if the timing's off a little bit with Tua in his throws, like he doesn't really have the long term arm strength as well. This offensive line has been so bad that he doesn't really have the time to like kind of go through his progression. Like they got to get the ball out quickly. So it's just I'm curious just on the trajectory of Miami because they seem to be going downward a little bit more,
yeah.
and part of that's unfair to them is because the AFC is loaded with good talent.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at a lot of the top quarterbacks, and the NFC definitely has its fair share,
Yeah,
but the AFC North is loaded. Uh, I I'm a Patriots fan, so maybe there's a little bit of bias here, but you have Josh Allen in the division. Drake May looked really promising in his rookie year. The Jets are a little bit of a mess right now also, but yeah, the AFC is
Yeah.
a really tough division, and I think they're at the very least plateauing at where they are, and maybe the rest of the league is catching
Yeah.
up. So uh I last comment, even with the players I think that I like, how does this draft class help them win football games in 2025? And that's where I feel like they're missing the mark in my eyes on this. Like
Yeah.
it helps them stop the run, and Savaiinaea is one needed piece amongst a litany of needed pieces across the offensive line. Um so like I understand it. I don't know. I felt like they threw a lot of darts in a weird direction.
No, you're right. Like I agree with you there. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't say weird direction. It's me kind of how I view the Miami Dolphins team more as a whole.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is they're just kind of stuck in their own ways. Like they're like when they're developing this type of roster and this team, it's like no, we're going down this route, and then now how are they going to get out of it? You
Yeah.
know, and this is like the one year like when they made the playoffs, like they beat all the teams that were below 500, and then they lost to all the teams that were above
Yeah.
500. You know, and they just couldn't contend with those teams. And then but and it's tough to really say, but then like with Tua and his concussions and his injury, then like there's a clear drop off, obviously, then too, and that's why Tua is a starting quarterback, obviously. But it's not like there's other different ways to go and adapt. And like this was like Buffalo Bills, just for example, when Stephon Diggs was there, like they couldn't run the ball to save their life. Like they had to throw the
Yeah.
ball through the air. They had to have 55 throws a game, and that's how they were going to win these games. And they could do it, but if they went up against one of the top pass defenses that could cover Stephon Diggs and could get after the quarterback, they struggled. Now the Bills, though, they have multiple different ways that they can go and beat you. And I say that too. People are going to bring up like Miami Dolphin stats of like their speed, like they one of the more top rushing teams, like when healthy, like in 2023. And they do have those explosive games, yes, but also a lot of those stats are against weaker defenses that don't have the talent to contain them. So Tyreek Hill can go get loose. Devon A. Chain, he finds his seam and he breaks a 75-yard touchdown. But when they go up against the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, or even though they beat the Ravens in 2023, but still, like in those big moments,
Yeah.
they just have struggled to take that next step. And it's almost like to your point, they're plateauing or like stuck.
Yeah. And so I just that's probably my biggest gripe with this draft is like how does this draft help them get the wheels moving again? And I just don't know if it really does. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on what you thought of the Miami Dolphins 2025 draft class. Do you love it? Do you hate it? What would you have done differently? Done that. We'll see you guys next time.